I didn't know better, and everybody does it, even if only vaguely, mentally. So I did it too. Every new year, I'd write a bucket list. Goals, dreams, ambitions, things that would finally make me happy. I even made them very specific, measurable, with deadlines. Everything the gurus preached. It felt great, like I was taking the right first step. But here's what happened. I achieved those goals. I kept checking those items off that list. And at 41, when I looked back, I realized something that shattered me. I was exactly as unhappy as I was at 21. I could not let that sit. So I researched what could be happening. And what I discovered was that I'd been operating on a widespread formula my entire life, which is more stuff plus more achievements plus more experiences equals more happiness. It made sense, it felt right. But that equation was wrong. It is what we're wired to do. But remember that nature doesn't need us to be happy. It just needs us to seek reproduction and survival, to keep doing more. Being happy, if it happens, is just a bonus. So I found out there's loads of research on happiness, and it is devastatingly simple. The equation is satisfaction equals what you have divided by what you want. So look at that equation, really look at it. Traditional goal setting increases the haves, but it also inflates the wants. You check off buy a house, and immediately you're fantasizing about a bigger house, or new cars to put into it, or all of those things, and more. And then the ratio barely moves or gets worse. Because there's a limit to what you can have, and a real disappointing limit to how much satisfaction that can give you. But there are no limits to human desire. So the simplest and fastest way to increase satisfaction is not to have more, it is to want less. So I found something different. Arthur C. Brooks, Harvard's happiness specialist, calls it the reverse bucket list. Here's how it works. You write down your biggest desires, all of them. Not to chase them, but to acknowledge them. And then you cross them off. You consciously detach. And something remarkable happens. You move that desire out of your limbic system, which is the ancient, instinctual part of your brain that screams, I need this. And you move it into your prefrontal cortex, where your rational mind says, okay, I might get this, I might not, either way I'm fine. And suddenly, you're free. This isn't about giving up. It's about managing your attachments instead of being owned by them. Buddhism figured this out too. Attachment is the root of suffering. But current research refined it. It's not healthy attachments. Your love for your family, your desire to not suffer, those are fine. It is the piling up of infinite other desires. And they end up defining our emotional lives. You attach to a promotion, for instance, and then you get promoted, and a week later, you're back on the grind fantasizing about the next step up. You attach to a vacation, you go, and within a week, you've forgotten about it and you're stressed again thinking about next year's vacation. You attach to a new shiny toy, you get it, and suddenly it's old news. The mind has a slot for things we desire, and nothing can never fill it for too long. That's why the reverse bucket list works. When I write down, I want to own a yacht, I acknowledge the desire. It's real because I'm human and I want those things. And then I cross it off, saying, this may happen, it may not, but it will not own me. And in that moment, something shifts. You're no longer chasing the horizon. You're standing on solid ground, controlling where you are going. So, here's exactly how to do this step by step. Step 1, write down all your goals. If you can't do it right now, set a specific date to do it. It is important. Then grab pen and paper because it has to be physical. Maybe grab some coffee. Set a timer for 10 minutes if you want and write down your ambitions and desires. All of them. And it may help to think of the 4 false idols as categories. Money, which is all kinds of possessions. Power, which is influence over others and promotions. Status, which can be broad fame or localized admiration from your peers. Pleasure, which is sensory gratification and comfort. Another big one is attachment to your views and opinions. We don't need opinions, we need friends, tolerance, and curiosity, so be sure to include your opinions as well. Don't censor yourself. These are natural evolutionary drives. Vomit it all out on the paper. Step 2, cross them out consciously. For each desire on the list, look at it and think, maybe I get it and maybe I don't, but I'm going to cross it out as an attachment. Brooks explains, when I write them down, I acknowledge that I have the desire. When I cross them out, I acknowledge that I will be not attached to this goal. This is the mechanical shift from limbic to prefrontal cortex. The distinction is critical. It goes from an emotional need to a rational intention. Step 3, keep the list and review it. Put a reminder on your calendar to review the list and do it again in about 6 months. Birthdays and New Year work extremely well too. And when reviewing, ask, am I living up to this? Am I practicing the detachment that I committed myself to? Expect desires to resurface. Again, Brooks teaches, the phantasm will be back. It will be flying around in your head again. But you brought it to your prefrontal cortex for a reason. And your prefrontal cortex is an adult, and it will govern the children. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, you're the adult here. So when it happens, don't put yourself down. And it can actually be quite amusing to see the patterns of desires that keep resurfacing. In conclusion, we are not robots. We need goals that we care about. But attachment to reaching them is dangerous. The more attachment, the more other aspects of life will suffer. So we're trying to not be addicted to reaching those goals, but to have them as conscious intentions. When you release attachment to outcomes, when you stop needing the world to bend to your will, you actually become more effective. You act from abundance instead of scarcity. You make better decisions because you're not desperate. Paradoxically, letting go of desires is the best way to actually achieve them, all the while being happier about it. So do this today, or don't, but know this. Every day you wait is another day you're owned by wanting. Another day that the horizon moves as fast as you chase it. You already know how that feels, but now you have the right to change it.